Hey guys, thanks for joining me for a new video. I'm doing this one in response to a question that somebody asked on my Discord server, which by the way, if you'd like to join, there's a link in the description if you're on Discord. And essentially they were wondering why their sales aren't where they would like the sales to be. And while there's no one size fits all answer, I'm going to do my best in this video to give advice that I think will benefit everybody. This is really going to serve as a refresher if you're selling print on demand of what's really important, at least in my mind. So if you're interested, hear me out and let's get started. Real quick, just wanted to remind you that I've got a weekly print on demand giveaway that I'm running. It is sponsored this week by the Flying Upload for print on demand upload automation, AutomatePOD for print on demand design automation, and last but not least, All American Graphics for professionally pre-made graphics that you can use in your designs. If you'd like to enter, it's completely free. Link in the description. Right next to that link, I've got a link to my free print on demand mini course and a link to my print on demand Facebook community. If you'd like to take advantage, I'd love to have you. All right, so back to the reason I made this video. And again, there's a link to my Discord server if you'd like to join, right there in the description. So from Lily Dawn, hello there. New here. I'm an Android developer, graphic designer, and I'm learning how to work for myself. I sold my first t-shirt last weekend on Merch by Amazon after 3 months. Well, congrats on the first sale, even though it took quite a while. Better late than never, right? I'm super worried. 0 sales on KDP, Teespring, and Redbubble. It's becoming hard because of the lack of money. On t-shirts, I focused on US politics, here's my sell, and some artistic illustrations for kids and Gen Z. On KDP, I have one workbook for kids because I can draw some cute things, and on one notebook for adults I started last month. I have 5 more low content and semi-content books done, but they are on review. I use Merch Informer for niches, Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook for organic traffic. I'm about to sell some of my illustrations and templates I created for KDP. I think I found 2 sub niches for KDP where I'm comfortable, but it's a slow process. So I came here to get some support from people who know the struggle. Thank you. So now that we've got kind of that high level insight into this person, and I don't know them personally, but into their approach to making money online via print on demand. They are taking advantage of these platforms that are free and also pretty low barrier of entry. I'd say Amazon Merch is the highest barrier of entry for any of the print on demand that they're selling, and barrier of entry matters. Like it just does. If everybody can go and create a Redbubble account and start uploading a ton of products every day, that is going to inevitably, I'm not trying to take shots at Redbubble. I'm just saying something that's true. It's going to inevitably cause saturation on that platform. So you always need to take these things into account. Things like upload limits, things like how many sellers are there, things like how many listings are there as a function of how many customers come to the platform. These are things that, I discuss pretty in depth in my print on demand courses, but also, you don't need to take my course to look it up for yourself. If you're interested, go do a Google search. What's the site called? I can't think of the site right now, but there's a site that does a really good job of giving traffic estimates. So if you're thinking in terms of how to prioritize spending your time, prioritize the websites with the most traffic, in my mind, at least. So I wanted to let you guys in on some secrets that you can use to increase your print on demand sales. And while I don't want this to be a 2-hour video, so I'm not going to go super in depth, I'm going to keep it, like I said, like a refresher almost of, well, I don't want to spoil it for you. So what I'm going to tell you though, do me a favor, keep it between us. The less people that know about it, the better off I think we're all going to be, right? The pie is pretty big, but let's be a little greedy here and kind of keep it for ourselves. All right. Just kidding. There obviously is no secret. Think about it for a second. What could I possibly have said on this slide that would have been the secret to make everybody watching, including you, make everybody more sales? What could it have possibly been? There's no secret, guys. You need to focus on the fundamentals, good fundamentals at that. And I guess that's more opinion based, right? Because I know you can go to different YouTube channels and see people recommending different approaches, and everybody's allowed to have their opinion. And also, it's not like they're wrong if they say something that I don't recommend. Everybody can, do this their own way. There's a lot of different ways to go about making money with print on demand. Even this person that we're talking about from my Discord server, they had their feet dipped in Amazon Merch, KDP, Teespring. I think they said Redbubble. So we just need to focus on good fundamentals on all of those platforms if that's where we're going to sell. And then also, before we go any further, it just needs to be stated that you're much better off focusing on just one platform and doing that really well, in my mind, than spreading yourself super thin. Like, maybe I'm your primary source of information. And if that's the case, hey, thank you. I appreciate the subscription and, watching all my videos. But like, just because you hear what I'm doing after literally being at this for 4 years, like if you're new, don't just jump right in and think you're going to take it all on immediately. You know what I mean? Take some time, try to be an expert at one platform or maybe 2 platforms at a time. Like, it's not that hard if you're on Amazon merch tier 10 to be doing something else along with that. And if it's KDP, if it's Redbubble, if it's Etsy Printful, there's so many options. But yeah, that's fine. That's great. But, I just wanted to make a note. Like, I don't know this person personally, so I don't know their capacity for getting work done in an efficient manner. And I don't know if their, listings are good and all that. So I'm not going to make any assumptions. But I think it's good advice at a high level to just be realistic about how much time you have to dedicate to do. And honestly, this applies to life in general, not just print on demand and business. But in life in general, be realistic about like how much time you have to dedicate to things. And again, control for that variable, or in that case, it's not a variable because you've already figured it out. So just be realistic. That's something I hate when people have excuses about time. It's like, well, if you knew you had 5 minutes, then do the best job you can do in 5 minutes. Don't just not get it done and say, I didn't have enough time because you had 5 minutes. That's one of those things that to me, I just don't like those excuses. All right. So let's talk about online real estate. This is something you hear me talk about pretty often on this channel. If you're looking to increase your print on demand sales, within reason, like I just said, you're going to want to establish a presence on as many of these big marketplaces as possible. Real estate in real life is expensive, but online real estate is cheap and can be quite valuable. If you rank in the top of page 1 with some high volume search keywords on Amazon, there's a lot of value in that real estate. That's why people are willing to pay, dollars per click, which don't even guarantee to convert to a sale on those big platforms, because they know, hey, if I pay $1 for this click and it generates a sale and I make $10 profit, I got $9, things like that. But I'm not even talking about running ads. I'm just saying, hey, like, just establish an organic presence on these marketplaces, because these marketplaces also know it's in their best interest, even if we're not paying to advertise, to display relevant results when somebody searches for something. So you need to do good keyword optimization. And again, there's a lot of moving pieces, but stick to the high level fundamentals. I don't even want to talk about keywords in this video, because I think even if you do an okay job at keywords, you'll be in good shape to make sales. But, then there's also more advanced keyword strategy that probably outside the scope of what I talk about publicly on YouTube for the most part. All right, so if you're struggling to get on all of these platforms that I pictured here, eBay, Amazon, Merch by Amazon, Etsy, Redbubble, TeePublic, Kindle Direct Publishing, Spreadshirt, using Printful to fulfill orders, and there's more marketplaces than that, guys. I just wanted to give you some recommendations of tools that can automate uploads for you, which will free up an incredible amount of time. And if you're being realistic about how much time you have to build and scale your business, outsourcing to some software, so you don't even have to train a person, you just use the software, it's not a bad option. And I've used all these tools, and I have links in the description. And for the most part, I have tutorials on my YouTube channel. So if you'd like to learn how to use them, just check out the channel. All right, niche targeting. Again, this is one that I don't want to spend forever on, but guys, not to insult your intelligence, but you already know if you are selling things that nobody's looking to buy, you will make 0 sales, right? Like, it's just basic. If you're selling some random thing that popped into your head and you think is hilarious and nobody's typing it into a search bar, then nobody sees it. If nobody sees it, they can't click it. If they don't click it, they can't add to cart and check out, right? Just be realistic about the customer journey here. So, and this is something that I think I don't want to go on a tangent. I'm not going to go on a tangent. I don't want this video to take forever. But like, even on my video yesterday, just one person, most of the comments are great and they're respectful. One person was like super upset about this concept of like doing niche research and niche validation, which obviously is a big part of making sales. So I don't think this person probably makes that many sales, because their comment was essentially like bashing me for recommending like looking at the marketplaces and evaluating what's selling as a function of demand, which seems incredibly reasonable to me. Maybe not to, I don't know. I'm assuming to most of you, if you're still listening. So that's what I'm going to recommend you do. Don't just guess at what people are buying. Marketplaces like Amazon, you know, the number one e-commerce website in the world, you may have heard about it. They actually let us know what's selling. They have this public data point. You know, they don't have to show us this data point, but they do. And the reason I say that is because like Redbubble doesn't show it to us and Etsy doesn't show it to us, but Amazon does. And it's called BSR, best seller rank. If you use that, you can actually gauge and evaluate what's selling and then make informed decisions about what niches to enter. So to the person who dropped a pretty long comment on that previous video, you know, don't be mad, man. I'm giving pretty good advice and you don't have to listen to it, but I appreciate you giving me your feedback. All right, so if you want niche tools that will essentially try to expedite this, I almost said service, but these are tools that are paid tools. You don't, by the way, you don't need to use any paid services, but if it's a business, treat it as such. Don't be afraid to invest a little bit of money to expedite your path to success and hopefully achieve a greater level of success. Nobody's ever been wrong for investing in themselves. You know what I mean? Think about it. As an investment in yourself, if these tools are going to help you and help your business, help you gain confidence, then, you know, don't hesitate to pull the trigger. By the way, most of them are like month-to-month subscriptions, so they're pretty cheap and you can always just cancel. But also, I'm just saying, you don't need to spend money. It's not a requirement. The bestseller rank data point, if you want to just look at that, there's a free Chrome extension called DS Amazon Quick View for Amazon. It shows the bestseller rank in search results. Check that out. It's completely free. DS Amazon Quick View. I did a YouTube video on it in the past that was labeled my favorite Chrome extension for selling on Amazon, because it truly is. Oh, by the way, these services, Merch Informer is great. Merch Informer, Merch Ninja are great for selling print on demand. Amazon merch specifically, I'd say. BookBolt and EasyPub Profits essentially assist you in doing the same, but for Amazon KDP. All right, the last one I'm going to talk about in this video, because we can go on, but I think like the high level, most important fundamentals are what I've talked about thus far, including design, because guys, sorry, but if your design sucks, nobody's going to buy it, you know? Nobody buys bad looking designs unless you're on some marketplace where it's just you in search results. But most of the time, if it's just you and there's customers there, the other sellers are going to find that marketplace eventually. So yeah, you gotta work on your designs, guys. And while I cannot make you a better designer, I mean, I'm also not going to claim to be the best, but you know, like anything else, if you practice, if you want to make your own original designs, you will get better each time you iterate through the process. If you focus on getting better, and that means making better designs, but also being more efficient. You know, when you're using a computer to do things, learn a new keyboard shortcut every time you make a new design. And if you're in Photoshop, if you're in Photopea, etc., they all have the Canva, they all have keyboard shortcuts. So try to learn something new. If you don't want to do your own original graphics, that's fine. You know, you see this ugly mug right here? Text-based designs still actually do sell. And while if you're going to just do text-based designs, be strategic. You can sell t-shirts with just text. I mean, I've interviewed people that have done extremely well. There was a dude I interviewed a couple months back. He sold over 300K in total sales through Amazon merch, just text-based designs. He did most of them on his phone using an app called Over. Okay, you can check that out on my channel as well. If I remember to, I'll try to put a link to it in the YouTube cards, but sometimes I forget. Sorry about that. But also you can use services like Vexels, like All Sunsets. I mean, I'm only recommending ones that I've used myself, but you can use them and you get professional graphic designers to make graphics for you. Vexels and All Sunsets both take requests for custom graphics. So I'm just giving out some ideas. This is not all encompassing. There's a million places you can go to get pre-made graphics, but if designing is not your strong suit, or if it takes too long and you don't foresee that as something you're going to be doing in the future, you know what I mean? Because it's one thing to like spend 3 hours on one design, but like if it's always going to take you 3 hours and you don't think you're always going to have 3 hours in the future, you can just kind of skip towards the finish line and sign up for one of these services. It's worth considering. By the way, All Sunsets, there's a link in the description. It's $27 for an annual subscription. You can't really beat that. It's like $2 a month, $2 and change. And one more step, guys. Let's wrap it up. You just need to execute. Again, that was almost like a tease, right? Don't forget the last step, the most important one. Okay, sorry. It's nothing secret. It's nothing crazy. You just need to execute. You've got the strategy. Now you execute, and you should find your way to a higher degree of success. Everybody's definition of success is variable. It's different. So, and by the way, this could be a whole nother video, but I very, very much believe in the concept of whatever level of success you want to achieve in anything in life. If you're serious about getting there, reverse engineer how you get there, boil it down into, it's really just about making things like feasible. Like it's putting it into almost, I don't want to talk about like The Secret where you envision it and then you somehow hope that it magically happens. I think envisioning it in your head is almost like you've quantified it. So now you can hopefully break it down into smaller steps and then just take a step each day, work towards getting to that end goal. Not trying to make this a motivational speech or anything, but like I very firmly believe that as a reasonable way of achieving that success, instead of just crossing your fingers and hoping that it happens and thinking about it. But too often ideas just sit in our head and they don't translate into action. So you got to take action. You got to execute. You guys already know that though. So, all right. Thank you for watching this video, guys. Just wanted to remind you, I do have a full print on demand course. Link in the description, over 100 lectures. I mean, extremely comprehensive, and I'm constantly adding to it. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it. Hit that like button if you haven't already. And if you're not subscribed and you want to do so, I'd also appreciate that. But thank you guys. I'll see you tomorrow.